This is TV18.
My God!
And you're watching CNBC TV18 Prime HD.
तरह से एक तरफा ये मैच देखिए हीला को अपने कॉर्नर पर छोड़कर दूसरे कॉर्नर पर आकर अटैक किया टीम पर फिर से केला को शिकार बनाया फिर उसी कॉर्नर पर लेकर गई टर्न पर कभी मारा और आया में
कॉर्नर पे आई तेजी से दौड़ती हुई गई और
during Wednesday's meeting, but investors will watch the dot plot to see if it scales back its projections for 3 rate cuts this year. Bank of Japan kicks off a pivotal policy meeting today as well. Markets are watching for a major policy shift after Japan's biggest companies agreed to the largest pay hikes in more than 30 years. And Vladimir Putin is on track to keep his position as president of Russia for another 6 years. Early results show he's set for a landslide victory in an election that took place amid its war with Ukraine and continued crackdown on dissent.
मानना पड़ेगा कि आज इस
All right, let's get right to markets and show you how it's shaping up so far out in this part of the world. New Zealand has been up and running for about an hour. It's looking soft, down 0.6%. They're dollar the Kiwi, 60.86. Sydney next online in less than 60 minutes. We've got futures there. Handicapping looks to be a downside as well. Australian dollar at 65.61. Tokyo is online in less than 2 hours. Sydney futures, Nikkei futures are falling for a downside. Falling for an upstart. Positive one. We'll speak. Dollar yen at 149.07. Of course, as we headline the Bank of Japan's 2-day policy meeting kicks off later this morning. BOJ is said to be close to moving away from its decade-long ultra-easy monetary policy, possibly as early as tomorrow, which is when the MPC Monetary Policy Committee wraps up. And this is after Japan's union group, the largest confederation of trade unions, Rengo, said the country's biggest companies have agreed to raise wages by almost 5.3% this year, which would be the biggest pay hike in 33 years and higher than forecast. BOJ officials have long said the timing of the shift away from negative rates would depend on the outcome of this year's annual wage talks known as Shinto, or the spring wage negotiations. Reports say the BOJ could also ditch its bond yield control and discontinue purchases of risky assets, including exchange-traded bonds.
Martin, in the meantime, US equity futures have joined us and are looking like this. Not particularly convincing at this point in time, especially given the event risk over the course of this week, and that is the FOMC in a plethora of central bank meetings globally. This comes after the major averages fell on Friday, with the S&P logging its second straight weekly loss. Inflation concerns persist. As the Fed's policy meeting kicks off on Tuesday, stateside, Fed is expected to keep rates unchanged, but investors will pay attention to an update on the Fed's dot plot or the forward projections of individual committee members. Remember that back in December, policymakers had penciled in at least 3/4 percentage point rate cuts for the year, Martin.
All right, let's get a steer and bring in Deborah Cunningham, CIO, Chief Investment Officer, Global Money Markets, and also Executive Vice President at Federated Investors. She joins us now live out of Pittsburgh. Debbie, good to see you and appreciate your time, and thanks for staying up to do this with us. I know it's getting a little late your side. Let's talk about the Fed first. No move expected, but I'm wondering, right, she was mentioning the dot plots, which would be forward guidance. Do you think they're actually going to end up stressing data and data dependency even more than that?
Got way ahead of itself, however, back at the end of last year, at which point they started to price in at one point that we were as high as 6.97 rate cuts in 2024, and that just seems very remote at this point, and produced a yield curve that was very, very unattractive at that point. Now, given where we are from a standpoint of continued data and dependency with regard to information as it comes out on a monthly basis, And after the last Fed meeting, the January Fed meeting, continued, announcements of needing to get confidence that the economy was on a proper track from a growth trajectory standpoint, but more importantly, on a proper path for continuing to see inflation decline. And quite frankly, I think that the talks about pockets of sticky inflation that keep those numbers higher than where the Fed gets comfortable, continues to push this first rate cut into the second half of 2024.
To for start understood. So in other words, Chair Powell is likely to talk and also try and come across a very positive with regards to the continued disinflation, but he's also going to stress the but, and that is but it depends on the data going forward.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he stressed that we're not yet confident with the information that they had received, especially with regard to inflation. He mentioned wage inflation, which has been a very sticky issue. And, when you look at some of the labor contracts that have been settled in 2024, it seems to me like those sticky issues are getting stickier. You've also got rents, healthcare. One of the big things that's helped bring inflationary numbers down in 2023 faster than maybe what the Fed was originally anticipating was the cost of energy. And the expectation that may not be, sort of an offset in 2024 the way it was in 2023, I think also brings inflation into question and certainly needs, at least from a Fed standpoint, additional confidence that the trajectory will continue to be downward.
Deborah, how then do we position in this market? Because soft landing, mild or even no recession has become very, very consensus now. Is that in and of itself?
AEW Rampage today news, AEW Rampage BSP news, everyone's highlights matches. Match. You cannot bet this match. AEW Rampage. However, the season is good. So all season episodes. Now you can watch today. Episode is the longest episode is the war. Now you can watch in this episode. So news latest stories. This is stories latest news and the which anime is there. So help. For Sony many hours. So today AEW Rampage. Enjoy the AEW Rampage today. Now you can watch this AEW Rampage.